Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Morgfair.com rule. How can we say? Overview of the rules of Morgfair and the ArkRP server. I'd like to welcome everybody. So, without further ado, we'll get into the next section, I think. And where are we? We're on the volcano. Here we have the lovely volcano, ladies and gentlemen, which, as you can see, there's a lovely bit of deposits up here. Now, this is a reiteration as to the local nodes and local supplies of said supplies. As you can see, that's right next to me. There is a smithy station, and also up on the ridge there you will see an industrial forge, as well as one down below. This area is a no build area for any player of any homes and any other said things within the vicinity of this volcano. So meaning just down on that little pathway bit you are not to build. Also, you can see that the mountain is not really easy to build on anyway, so a majority of it won't be able to. Down at the base there where all the trees are, you'll be able to build if you can, then yeah, it's not a problem all the way around. But players are advised not to build anywhere along pathways of it, or prohibiting any entrance or exit of the said mountain if by foot. Obviously, all the composite materials up here are for everyone, so if there is none here when you get here, that means you have to come back again later on to then harvest. Obviously there will be said boxes placed around maybe, or a few items as such. I mean, I think these were mine. They are, and as you can see I have left some items in here, which at the time the source materials were here, so possibly these boxes are prohibiting it, but who knows, it could be this forge more than likely. But as you can see, there is a fabricator, also half a dozen metal mortar and pestles. You know, it's all there for you to use as much as anything. And like anything, when you see signs, please read the sign and just to see what it actually says, and so that you understand what is going on. Gasoline, please only take what you need. Obviously not much in there, but that will be for said item. So obviously for the industrial forge, like look, as you see, there's a load of ingots in there. Obviously that's for anybody to use. Obviously the fabricator, it's the same thing. Obviously anything you can create in said fabricator is there, so any material that is in there is provided by yourselves. So if you leave it here, that's for whoever wants to use it afterwards. So please be considerate, try and leave materials behind for others, so at least that way they're not having to bring too much up. Obviously you can see there's an Ankylo here which has the saddle. Obviously, like it's always, making sure it's passive, like this one's just on wandering, just so it wanders around randomly. But nevertheless, have it on passive if you do bring one up here. But it's a case of, this is obviously Yoshi's one, so that way he can then harvest all the metal to then take it over to the forge. So if you bring one of these up here, leave it up here on passive, and then move it somewhere so that it's not in the way of any respawned items. So maybe just down there in that little parking spot you could probably make it, and there will be one made accordingly for animals, so that way you can use it. Right. Also, I need to also run over on a couple of other rules that I kind of did breeze over, but didn't quite actually bring up to speed. Now, let's have a quick look. We will also talk about the shopping district. We are going to go and talk about the shopping district, so we're going to head on over there right now, and I will give you a run through on the stalls that will be in game. At least then you will then understand the full usage of them. So then if you haven't checked this video out in order to find out, obviously it's a case of, you know, you better then find out. Now the new towns can be placed anywhere, but we're going to have a central town just right ahead, and you see where all those gullies are and those 4 or 5 random trees with those rocks. that's basically where a town's going to be put, and that's what I'm going to be building, which will be the main point of interest for everyone from around the island. As you can see, from distance wise, it's near enough in the middle, give or take. Maybe it should have been down there, but unfortunately it's not much land to build, so that is probably the best place. Obviously dino parking will be made available in that gully, so it'll be a case of that way people can store their passive animals while they're visiting. They will not be allowed in the town as per the usual rules. Let's see, what else? Don't kill sleepers, we've already covered that. During the assault on the base, yep, we've already done that. Innocent players, right. The capture rule: if you are awake and in-game and you are captured by another player, i.e. being tranked and then dragged off to be then put in a cave somewhere, you are to follow along with that capture for at least 10 minutes or longer if you wish, depending on the other person of how much they want to do. Basically, it's a simple case of this: once you have been participated and have been captured by said player, if the player who is captured wants to die after 10 minutes or said time of when the captor has had enough, that player, as in the one who took you in the first place, has to either let you go or kill you. So it will be a player death, which then the 10-minute rule will then take into effect, and you will not be able to remember who killed you but and what happened. So it's a of that 10 minutes. Let's see. Also, when it comes to combat logging, if any person is caught with sleeping bags on their person and they're in an RP moment and there's combat involved and they place those sleeping bags nearby and they are discovered, they will be destroyed. As of when they're there, they are destroyable objects. They will be destroyed on sight. There will be no ifs, buts or maybes about this, okay? And at the same time, if we discover who you are in the meantime of doing that, and you're combat logging with those said sleeping bags, you will also be taken aside and given a strict warning. At the same time, depending on the situation, if it's more severe, then you would be more than likely a ban, but you will be informed of this before it happens, regardless. Also, we would require players, if possible, that when creating your base, to create a small area on which you can have a graveyard that you are to respawn at every time. Do not respawn inside a house or anything like that. We would require, if you actually have a said, you know, area. Now, we're now at the town. Obviously it takes things to load up and all this. Alright, okay. And obviously I know there's other players in game at the moment that are currently doing some silly buggery, so I won't hear them while I do this. And this is what we're talking about, the lag as well. You get a bit of a jump back effect and the lag of it not loading in, things like that, la la la. This is what we're talking about, also making sure that it's pleasurable for your areas to be as lag free as possible, so that way it doesn't make players wait 5 minutes just to move a little bit, to wait 5 minutes. We don't want that. Right, the first shop is the sell shop. This is where you will obtain said any goods that you have built or acquired in game, being by another player or by bush people or by any other means. You come here to sell. Obviously there will be documentation to say exactly what is needed, so it will be quite easy for you in case if you're not sure. Always check any boxes outside the huts. Free to good home. Obviously items that either do not sell or it's a case that are not required, like these items where they cannot be sold, so they are put in here. Also, like, you'll find notes. Check the box, put it in next door. When you are depositing said items, as you can see, there's price lists. Now, like stone, you merely drag it in, and that's what it produces of whatever said amount. And this is what you are then given. These are your main one-to-one currency, which is your gold pearl. black pearls are 1 to 100 of the gold pearls. So basically 100 of these makes one of these, in effect. So obviously once you have then acquired 100, like I have here, you can drag them in. It makes a gold pearl. Quite simple, quite easy to the point. So let's see. Does that sell? Yes, it does. What about that? There's an example. You can't sell that. Can't sell that. That's sellable. Radio isn't. What about that? Nope. As you can see, Mastercraft bow. Nope. So, what about smoke grenade? Nope. Stone hatchets. They sell. Stone picks. They sell. Hide boots. They sell. Hide pants. Yep. So they're workable. What about plans? Plans sell as well, which is a good thing. Flare gun, that doesn't sell. Pike? Nope. So you get the general gist. Just drag it in there, and then whatever you're produced, that is what you get. Take all from the inventory. No other player, when a player is using this table, do not come in and actually then start using the table, because you're going to find it's going to be a problem. Oh! Ah! Sora! Just the lady I'm talking to. Unfortunately, my hearing is gone, my dear. I'll have to adjust accordingly, and I will be right with you. But, apart from that, I hope you're keeping out of your mischief, I hope. Oh, you're keeping in mischief, right. Well, in the meantime, before you do anything rash, I'm just doing a little bit of visualization and explaining, so I'll be right with you, my dear. Thank you very much. But by the way, I think I'm going to join you on your lovely little antics afterwards. Maybe much sooner than you think. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Right, and as you can see, obviously, one player that I can't hear at the moment because I've got the sound turned off. So, we have the paint shop. Paint shop is where you get, obviously, said paints. Come up to the desk, and you'll get introduced to, like, purchase orders, like this. And then, like it says, black is times 15. Gold pearls required is 1 gold pearl per 15. So you would get your gold pearls, drag them in, they turn blue, and that means you can buy anything. And of course at the bottom is where you'll find it. So I want one of these. You click it once, there you go, there's your colouring, just like that, and then remove it from the table. It's then done. You've then got your paint. These the beds that will be supplied, or guards, these guards are to the kingdom or said building. So if you are to destroy anything in here or attack it, this guard will go nuts. So it's not ideal. Next up is arms, armor. So basically your weapons, armor and ammunition. This will be another thing which will be separated into 3 different shops. So one will be armor, one will be weapons, one will be ammunition. So it'd be a case of you'll find them as according. So ammo, which would be that, armor, which is that, then that one, and weapon will be that one. It's the said thing, same idea. Put your gold pearls in, buy said item, it's then yours, and then you take it out the desk. It's the same rules apply in terms of when you're selling. If a player is using it already, oh my good god, oh she definitely you know what, I better do this now, what, before she gets a little bit too excited. Wow. So let's do the RPGs. Let's see, ID, metal arrows. So you look for what you're looking for. Sometimes they're done differently, but they're sometimes in quantities. So make sure you check them over properly. At least then you know exactly what is what. Of course, this is actually aimed at more new players that are new to the game or new to the server. So at least they know what they're looking for. And sometimes it takes a while to find what you want. It really does. But for me, like anything, scrolling through RPG. There we go. You know, and then to do that I can purchase how many? 10 RPGs. So let's craft up RPGs. There we go, and we have 11. So obviously it's just as simple as that. Little Sora is definitely causing them trouble. I know it. Very soon, Sora. Very soon. Honestly, you're gonna enjoy it. You know why? Because I've got this big here, bad boy, ready to go for it. So we're gonna have some fun. Don't you worry about that. Oh yes. Of course, playing as Lord X. That's the whole thing. Of course, mind the pinkness of this building. Resource Dino Shop. Obviously, this is where you will find a table that is designed for kibble and saddles. That is what this one is for. It is a new thing that's been added, so obviously everything you require will be in this here desk. Obviously, you've got the resource shop, which is this one, which will be mainly things like crystal, electronics, flint, all what you find out in the world, but it's slightly better product, if you know what I mean. It's slightly higher in grade. Then you have a building shop, which is purely like for what you see here, building. Makes perfect sense. And you might find other buildings that are, so rule guests upper level, tribe recruiting lower level. So basically, tribe recruiting. Basically, you'll host a whole load of banners. As you can see here, every tribe has a banner, and there's a few empty spaces. Each of the boxes are designed for being the mailbox. So then a mailbox, so you could drop some mail in here as you go up to it. The Forsaken, it'd be a bit about the tribe, and then any mail can be deposited in it. So if you don't have a mailbox but you want it to be in town, you can have it in town, and hey presto. So you would have to always check it. Obviously you would have other things like quests, that kind of thing might be in a separate building, or like in this case it's right above, so it makes sense. Radios for the island are always going to be free. They cannot be sold regardless, but you'll see there's radios. You just take as many as you need. So you'd have one at home, one on your person. If your character dies, you can always come back and to whatever town, and you can always get a radio. So it would be a case you can always keep in contact. Now, in terms of anything else of the shops, you will find boxes like said things that are free, and as you can see, there's stuff in there, random stuff. So always look around. You always look around for what you're looking at. And that is pretty much how the buying and selling. Now the gold pearls will also be used for in terms of other players might be selling tamed animals, they might have better equipment, they might sell it for quite a high price, but it'll be within reason. So obviously just bear in mind your gold pearls will go a long way. And obviously as you can see I've only got 3,000 gold left, but hey, doesn't matter. So we've covered that. Now I need to cover over a couple of other little basics here. Let me see. If at any reason that you have a whole load of arms and ammunition stored in a box, hold on a minute, I'll just get this. My dear, if you want, you can carry on doing what you were doing. I can view while you do it and watch you, just while I explain a few things. And basically it's a case of that with said arms caches, as you could say, if you were to create a box and put in, like, say, a whole load of RPGs, rifles, ammunition, that kind of thing, just be wary that if someone breaks it and gets in, oh shit. Obviously, totally forgot about that. It's a case of... Sorry, you can carry on. So, it's a case of that, there we go. Let's do a bit of a destruction. Boom. There we go, just a big kaboomy. So, apart from that, this is what we're talking about, damage of... like unnecessary damage. This is a prime example. If I was to go up to any base in-game without any RP reason or anything like that, this would be considered as a banning offense. And it's a simple case of you need to, like, obviously realize this. And obviously, let's go for that. missed. Damn it. Alright. Let's have a look. Let's have a little bit of a play. And that should be direct hit. Oh, not really much at all. Oh well, never mind. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Didn't realise they were up there. Right, I still can't hear you though at the moment, my dear. Still can't hear you. I'm just explaining a few rules, as they say. Gotta make good video, you see. Gotta make good video. But yes, apart from that, what else have we got? We got... let's see... Protect the user, don't break RP, no, we really have absolute reason for returning, yeah, blah 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 blah. Death rule, we have kind of ruled over to that. Yes, basically, as long as your reincarnations for your death rules are correct, then it's all good, and as long as it keeps in with RP, we're happy. Any of information obtained via any other means, meaning if you are a streamer and you have said chat room, that kind of thing open, and people are telling you that you are obviously this person's doing this, that way it's a case of that you do not actually make sure that that chat is taken as advice. You basically take the chat room as under advisement, meaning okay, you might know something about what's said going on, but you might not know exactly in game. So right now it's a case of that I'm in game and say someone said, right, someone's blowing up your castle. Alright, no problem. It's a case of that someone is blowing up the castle. I don't know still because I'm halfway across the map, and it's a case of that because of that it's like I can't go rushing back because of it, and if I see dinos die I can't rush into it, you know. It's under advisement. I know it's happening, but I can't go back to it. I have to have a reason of why I'm going back. So if I'm finishing a supply run and then I'm coming back, fair enough, but only when you have gone out to get what you are said to get. So if you're out to get a certain material and then go back to base to do it, and you find that you're under attack, that's when you can then initiate and doing whatever means you need to do. Like you saw with these T-Rexes here, obviously I destroyed a bit of the tower, or it hit the tower, the Rexes went off because they weren't on passive, because they're protecting the property. It's because of that, that's why they came down the mountain, and that's why they were coming to attack me. That's why I flew off, because while I'm doing this, I'd rather not die at this very particular moment of actually doing this explanatory of the rules, you know. It's something that needs to be done, and it's like, it's a prime example when it comes to it. But it's the same as when it comes to the sleepers, it comes to all things like that, you know. It's workable, you know. It's workable. In turn, what else have we got here? We've got a few others, I know. Let's see. Also, if you are broadcasting, if you are playing in-game music, or you are playing music that to your character, like is in your, like making like a jukebox or something like that, do not blare it out on the VoIP. It's a case of that if there's someone is recording like I am now, or little Sora here who is actually streaming right now, which I just realised, it's a case of that she would hear that audio, and that audio will then be on her stream, which then effectively could get her video or stream like muted, which then be a breach of copyright and things like that. Please bear in mind, like I may be playing music now, but it's a case of it's quite fitting for what it is, and obviously I will credit the said people as per what the music is of who they are. That's one thing I like to make sure people knows who's who, so at least then that way they can look it up themselves. Now when it comes to doing that in game, it's not advised. It's not advised at all. Not unless all and every party is happy for you to do so and knowing what that tune is going to be that is not going to get their audio muted. So please don't blare out music willy-nilly. Just be considerate and think about it before you do it, because it can be the life or break of an RP situation and a moment where if the music spoils it and it gets muted, it spoils it for a lot of people, and it also spoils it for the person who's trying to create the content, if they're creating content. So please bear that in mind, guys. You know, just don't, I mean, no one's done it yet, but we would like to keep it that way of no one doing that, unless all parties are happy, or it's not, or non-rulesy stuff. Then it's good. It's good. Let me see. And every Death and Tame does have a story as well. We want people to kind of keep with the RP of those deaths and also the stories of the tames. Like this bird here was my first tame ever. Obviously, currently it was my first tame. I can't remember what it is. I mean, I've been using it quite a bit this while going around, and it's at now 761. It has taken me ages to get this bird to get to where it is. I probably would not be able to do another bird from the initial get-go. I remember that it actually was at level 250 when it started. So it's taken me a while to get it, and even then it's like, as you can see by the stats, it's got some serious stats to it. But regardless of the fact, it's one of those things, so you have to be mindful of some things, because you never know of things. You just never know. So obviously just be wary, and no killing of any pets. So basically, for instance, for this case, this is a prime example right here. In fact, these Rexes are part of the kingdom. Now, if I'm raiding and like I said, these Rexes started to attack because obviously that I blew up part of the thing, or it exploded near them, so they've then automatically raged. Now, if I was to try and raid the place, do not kill them, regardless of who you are. You never kill a tame from any faction. You are to make sure that the said faction's animals are left unharmed. That way, that when you've done your raid, you're fine. And if that means if they're attacking you, just run away. Do not, or trank them, but don't kill any tames. Because the last thing you need is to have someone who gets salty and then comes along and then decides to do the same thing, and then your character is then put in a situation where it's not supposed to be in the first place. You know, just be considerate of that thing. And obviously, if they rage, but that means run. You know, it's just something that you have to bear in mind. So always, guys, just remember, no killing of tames. If they're on passive, neutral, or aggression, doesn't matter. It's a case of all is valid. It's a case you do not kill. If you're trying to survive, just try and survive to get away. If you can't get away and death is going to be imminent, then so be it. Rather that than have a tame die when they've spent a lot of time putting into their point value, their armor value, you name it. You don't. I've seen it happen before. It's not a pleasurable sight. And just keep it civil. Just keep it civil about it, you know. And still, within then the death rules apply, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think for this one. It's kind of an update, really. I think if there's anything else, I will do another video, and I will then produce more content for it so that it would then be up to speed. So in the meantime, the UAC is out of here again, and thank you for watching, and happy RPing everyone, and we'll see you in the next installment. I'll see you in game. Peace out.